This is going to be a short one. It's going to get saved. So would you go ahead at this point, just go ahead and explain what they're listening to, the original stuff, so that we can play and there's no Freedom Commons violation. Explain to the camera.
I'm very pink. That was Wayne Campbell and Alex Dishaw. Feeding Time, recorded in Redlands, California. About 3 years ago? So we're 2018, so we're talking about 2015 long lost track I've been sitting around on. Figured I'd share with you guys. I have a couple more here, recorded by the same two. See if I can find the right copies of these. Let me see. I don't recall the name of this one, but this one right now is called Copy 1B.
It's got good camera up close light. I don't know how much that's the monitor though. Maybe it hasn't switched tonight. So it's not this camera, that's why it's not taking my vision. So I need to go through and change cameras. That's why I was wondering it wasn't dark.
That was I Don't Want to Be Here by Wayne Campbell and Alex Dishaw. We recorded that song the same time as the last one. And I went and took it and recorded a little electric guitar riff over the back of it. I don't know if you can hear it. It's kind of light, but a couple times in there it kind of shone through. And so I wrote this, I listened to the song, I loved it. You know, we recorded it and hung out and whatnot. Well, I go and record this riff, you know, over it one day, and I go and show them excitedly what I wrote. And after I show him, I get this sad smile from him, and just a kind of hollow, that's awesome. And as I learned down the line, it turns out that Wayne was so jealous of anyone else, including anything in his music, that he was saddened by the fact that I superimposed, as you would say, over his music. And it's such a shame to see somebody who has so much ability and talent throw it all away because they want to hide themselves in a hole and not include anyone else into what they're doing. You know, that song really exemplifies that. You know, it's called "I Don't Want to Be Here." You know, how much does that mean, right? You know, I have one more sitting around here somewhere. Let's see. We'll run through real quick. Oh, that's not that. That's me.
Well, I think it stands a good testament, that kind of thinking that where people don't want contributions from other people into their music, that actually destroys a lot of bands.
It does.
Or unless the band comes in exclusively saying, I write all the parts. And I have a really, really good friend that kind of held some of his music back, and he's figured that out on this last album that he did, where he allowed his long-term bandmates to actually contribute, and that people accepted. That was like one of the best albums that he's put out in the last 5 years. And he realized his control. He's trying to grow himself as a person and be less of a control freak about it, and he feels so much better about the music.
There's times in life and in your musical career where it's appropriate for you to separate yourself from others and to do it as you want to do. But, you know, there is times that aren't recognized as often as they should be, where you really need to, whether it be input onto what you've written, or whether it be contributions verbally or music or whatever, you know, a criticism is a contribution at the end of the day. You know what I mean? You know, and it comes down to the person to recognize it for what it is and to take it and do with it what they will, you know.
And criticism doesn't always have to come off so negative. It's their personal opinion of what they got. Doesn't mean you have to take it and use it, but at least on some level, realize that it's obviously not striking them in a positive way, or they would have given you a positive review.
Well, it comes down to both parties to be respectful of the opinion and the drive of the other and the message behind it. The critic is there to, you know, one of my favorite phrases is constructive criticism. Such a simple phrase, 2 words, but it means a lot, you know, in how you know, a positive reinforcement as opposed to a negative reinforcement when it comes to, you know, pushing somebody's musical or artistic ability in whatever sense it may be.
I think the critical part is what they take. If they take the criticism part and they forget to take the constructive part, it's meant to edify and protect and make it better. And in music, that's what we're going for, because we're trying to create something. And if it's not sending the message that we're trying to send, we need to hear that from somebody else, because we can't interpret it how they're going to hear it. We can simply do what we want to send it out there, and it may not give the impression they want. And so sometimes when somebody asks for something in the music, it's not a bad thing to try to accommodate it. It may take it from a great song to a fantastic song.
And it very well may take you the other way.
And if it does, you go back.
Well, and at the end of the day, though, when it comes down to it, what is the purpose of the studio? It's to create music that the commissioner wants to have. Right?
Yeah, and that's why in our studio is to make it the way that the artist wants it. And even if I have constructive criticism and they don't like it, and they're always going to be told, you don't have to take this advice. I'm going to put it the way you want it. And that is probably one of the biggest tenets that we're going to have, is it's the music the way you want it.
That's where the fight comes in, is it comes between our wants and their wants. Trying to achieve the goals of both and finding the middle ground where everybody's happy. That's what the studio is there for to do. Right?
Yep.
You know, it's like when you're in, you know, any congressional hearing and you have veto power and whatnot, right? You know, there's a lot of people voting for a certain style, right? But there's a person who has more, you know, the president has the ability to, and I'm not, you know, nothing about the current administration at all, just the president themselves as an entity, right? The presidential party and whatnot. Anyway, their ability to veto certain actions and stuff, and how in any situation you do need somebody who has a veto power over you to say, look, I know where you're trying to go, but you're kind of not really going the right way about it. You need to step back. Someone to tell you to step back and look at what you're doing, and remind you that you're not the only person who matters. Yep. That duality right there does a lot to really help bring out that, in my opinion, to bring out that true musicmanship in anybody, or artistic, artistic drive. That's where you find the real, power behind somebody's what they're trying to project towards you.
Right. And we have to be careful to walk that line to say, I'm going to produce this the way you want it, and make sure that if you don't expose them to the options, or if they're not going to hear those options, you yourself as the producer are going to feel like you've still failed them, because you may hear something that is not going to work, but you're going to provide what they want. But that's where we're different here, because we want to make sure that they have what they want. Because far too often the recording studios and labels, they impose things on the artist because, I fronted you money and now you're doing this, so you have to do it my way. And I think it is defeating an art. It is caging. It's like putting an artist in a box and expecting them to perform to their standards just because
they're in a cage, man.
Yeah, and we don't. We want to get you out of the cage. Although we're going to stick you in a vault.
What their purpose was, because
the door isn't locked. If that means anything for anybody.
But the idea is,
there's so many fantastic artists who have lost themselves to their manager or to their
do not use any specific names. Yeah.
Recording artists. Oh no. To their recording opinions.
To the industry.
To the industry, exactly. There's so many artists that were so fantastic that they had to change their image or change their sound because, that's not what's selling. But really, have you given a chance to the other to sell?
And it's not about the overall sales. It's about how the artist feels that they're able to communicate. And there are enough people in this world that there will be a niche for everybody. And the idea is to get these people to get the music out the way they want, express it the way they want, and then help them find their niche and build their fan base.
When we were talking earlier, I mentioned Skid Row in LA and the boom back in the 80s and how everybody, was a one-hit wonder. I had a box of CDs one time that had, about 100 80s hair metal bands that I've never heard of that all looked exactly the same. They had their music sounded the same, they looked the same, they had the same, bleach blonde, puffed hair and this, all everything, everything. Headbands and the whole 9 yards, And it's funny how industry has moved so much away from that kind of mentality, from the big dog and that owns a studio, and you throw in a mixtape and here's what you have going on, and besides your fate right there like that, that's no longer that. Everything is in the home nowadays. Everybody's doing their own thing and trying to make it themselves, and it's really fallen away from the whole, in my opinion, it's fallen away from the whole purpose of the studio in the first place, is to be that direction and to solidify, that sense of organization in the industry that is becoming lost with this age of, online video, music videos and, all this kind of stuff. We've moved away from what it was in the 80s, and we've become a whole new generation of music, There's no music, no money being made in practically any part of the music industry anymore, except for the dark corners where everyone tries to claw for ad space and everything, It's just the whole point of music has almost been lost in the modern age. It's just as much entertainment as, the crappy syndicated television is, But the whole purpose of what we're doing here is really trying to draw it away from all that and making it something more than, a number that you're pushing through a line. Send them a tape and send them on their way. That's not really the purpose of us being here,
It comes down to wanting to open it back up to the artist and their vision, and make it affordable, where they're actually in control of their music. They're not having to depend on getting money from somebody else that can ultimately tell them how to do it and make more money off of them in the long run. So our studio is intent to be set up to make sure that we're recording and mixing the way they want it done, and then also assist them in getting connections with finding tours, getting them set up to where they can have merchandise available to sell at those tours, because you don't make a lot of money in ticket sales, and once you get your expenses of getting out on the road, you really do lose a lot of money. So the idea is to sell the merch, and we're going to help people get good graphic designs. We have a in-house graphic designer. We have people who have great ideas on style for people who have a style and they may be looking for one. We have a great kind of a fashion style designer. Doesn't mean you have to take the ideas. It's just giving you guys options so that you guys can have. We want to help you set you up so that when you want to take this album to the world, that you can show them that you're ready and you're not going to be a starving artist. You're not going to be stuck in, trying to tour the same 6 cities close to home because you can't afford to get out there, or you can't get hooked in with bands that will let you open for them. The idea is we're going to try to get you hooked up with those types of things. So, and when we say a full amenities studio, that is what we're going for.
Yeah. Well, I have another song on here somewhere that I'm going to look for. Wayne Campbell and Alex Dishoff being me. I know, crazy name drop. Let's see if I can find this guy.
Alex
I believe I have it
Fabulous.
queued. We'll see. Alex the what?
Fabulous.
Oh, the Fabulous. Oh. What an eloquent, simple title. A name generator couldn't have got it better, I don't think. So let's see what we have here, guys. I don't want to be here. Take one. Nope, that's a copy of the old. Let's see. Oh man, this is I'm going through history right here, guys. And this is crazy because this is a lot of. That was me doodling. It's just doodles.
Not even twinkles, just doodles.
Not even twinkles, just simply doodles. I don't know why my processor is actually playing, but it's trying to. Okay, so all these monos are going to be some doodles. Bear with me, folks. Like anyone's watching.
Someday they might, because this will end up getting saved as a shorter video.
I figured.
And I'll tag it so that it gets.
Will you stop? Oh, I don't know what are you doing? Why are you trying to? Why are you going like? Vain technology nowadays, children. I swear. Why am I skipping? What's it doing? Why am I skipping not full songs? I'm skipping sections of songs. I don't even understand what it's doing.
Did you come back out to the main menu?
All right, this is Wayne and Alex. Oh, this is intro track that I recorded.
Big time. Big time. Big one.
We are just maybe a little early when we're not fired up yet. We're just standing around in my brother's kitchen here on Bay Street. Smoking weed and drinking beer. Already got our spray. Fight and fuss now to get it done, huh? Had a little talk, because no more, the focus and just totally ready to start and something song. So, hope you like it. Y'all are going to hear pretty soon. We'll talk later. That's my first rodeo, huh? Here we go, guys. See what's going on. That's not it for sure. Oh no. Where is this? Unfortunately, I believe I'm going to have to dig through my files. It's going to be another day that we distribute this last song.
It's okay.
I swear there's 3 on here, though, of me and Wayne. So, Beating Time, copy 1B, that's the one, and STE 10. Is it recording?
Is that it? I think it's it. Are you recording now?
Maybe.
How many times am I going to hit it? Are you recording, Mikey? For the light. Look into the light.
Way overdriven. I know how to use things at the time, but is this a dead track or what? Isn't that grandma? That was my grandma, wasn't it? This is what album someday I swear. This is like By the way, I miss Wayne, guys. I don't know if anyone knows, but I do. I miss Wayne. We were drunk, and him and this chick sang Bad Fish. This is.
Is it bad pitch? Wait. Is it something else? That is a cover song, and my license currently does not allow me to do anybody's kind of cover songs or something that's been pre-recorded by anybody else, because the Creative Commons, until we get the Creative Commons license, and we'll have a limited amount that we can share.
So we apologize for that interruption.
As long as it's less than 30 seconds, we can't be hit for it. So we're okay. You got it.
Totally up to you again. Take one. Up to you again. And Alex. I wrote this chorus. But you never wanted one to fly here by my heart. Nothing to protect one glance, just one fire from a distance. Spirits shot your life, now it's truly made. Now you're shooting for some other, but my heart remains the same. Love is lost, you are the lost, and all the hurt, and me reflecting on my pain.
I can't take it, but maybe how much more?
I apologize, I could not mix yet. Oh, yeah, I know. You got it anyway, though. You got it going on. Look at that. Solid pitch. Solid beat. Mix that outro for sure. Right? Come over. Come over.
You can take that peek out. Yeah, sure. Yay! Okay.
If anyone ever watches this, honestly, you may be one of the few people who ever got to experience Wayne Campbell's greatness at music. Guitarist and vocalist there. He's you all heard the name Kurt Cobain in the song here, and he's definitely one of the type. And he'll most likely end up just like the rest. And so I just want to let you all know, that you're sharing this moment. It's really a special moment for everybody, because this is one of those voices that's going to be lost in the mix. They're to be found again, as so many have over the years. So cherish it if you have a chance, because there are many like him that are lost and never get to be found again.
Which is another reason to do the studio the way we're doing it, is to give opportunities to people that don't. They know they're phenomenal, but they don't have the ability to get there.
So it's all about.
So it's creating opportunities for people in the music world and basically rewriting the industry. taking it back and putting it in the hands of the artist.
If we're not doing that, we're not doing our mission. So that's what it's all about.
Yep. That is our mission. And over the next week, we're going to write our mission statement, and we have some other statements that are up in our business plan. We have a business plan. And they'll be posted to the tanisryu.com website.
You have a business?
We have a business to a business that
And a
feels
business
like
plan?
fun, and a business plan. We're doing this. Woo! All right, guys. Thanks. He's knocked over.
He fainted.
I fainted. As long as you didn't farted. It's still up because it hasn't